Hello and welcome to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobi Osei. Coming up on the dashboard today. Embattled gold dealership company Menzgold sues the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the Bank of Ghana. Meanwhile, Menzgold announces plans to pay matured investments before September 12. Also on the dashboard, Bank of Ghana challenges capacity of jurisdiction court hearing the case where a shareholder of Unibank, Dr. Kwabena Dufo, is seeking to reclaim the bank. And some spare parts dealers at Apostle fear their businesses will collapse due to investments made at Embattled First Ally Savings and Loans Company. Details of these stories and others, including exclusive interviews, analysis on the top trending business issues, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Let's take our first story. Now, economist Dr. Said Boakye is warning of a massive distortion to the government's budget if it fails to streamline the utilization of the $50 billion Century Bond. He tells City Business News the annual interest to be paid on the facility will drain resources, which will have dire consequences if not properly checked. The following report has more.
Dr. Said Boakye describes the decision as surprising considering the country's current debt levels. He explains that the impact will be heavily felt with a yearly payment of interest rates on the bond.
Smallest interest the country has received from the Eurobond, 7.5%, up to 50 billion. Every year you're paying around, if my calculation is right, but $3.5 billion. $3.5 billion, now multiplied by about 5. You are getting around 18.5 to 19 billion Ghana cedi. Already next year, interest payment and amortization is around 19 billion Ghana cedi. Consider total revenue and grants, where they stand. Meanwhile, there's wages and salaries, which is static. There is these EMA funds, which are also sitting down. When you add these three items, where will your budget stand?
Already, economist Professor Peter Korte has lauded the move, albeit its ability to support critical sectors of the economy. He says that the government may be attracting interest rates of about 8%, which will be due to prevailing global economic conditions.
It's not easy to, come out with a rate, but certainly any rate that is below the what we got for the last bond, something below 8% for me would be good, but also depends on the terms of the agreements. Some loans have good rates, but there are other fees that you pay, monitoring fee, commitment fee, and all those fees that are hidden. So it's not necessarily the rate, but also the agreement in totality. If you see the terms, then one can say that yes, we got a good deal or we didn't get a good deal.
The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, has suggested that the bond is critical in addressing issues such as the cedi depreciation and other major economic needs of the country. According to him, the 2019 budget to be presented to Parliament in November this year will further outline the plan in securing the bond.
We are structuring what we call the Century Bond for $50 billion. And a successful Century Bond will then make everybody pretty comfortable about the future of our needs for both infrastructure and the foreign exchange we need, so that we have a lot more stability.
Now, embattled gold dealership company Menzgold has sued the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the Bank of Ghana. Now, the company in its suit is seeking from the court an order directing the two institutions to stop interfering in its business. Menzgold also asked the court to stop the Bank of Ghana and the SEC from publishing what it described as derogatory notices against its business. There is more in the following report.
The defendants in the case are the Bank of Ghana and the Securities and Exchange Commission. The arguments put across in the statement of claim highlighted how the numerous publications by the two institutions have impacted the operations of Menzgold. Menzgold cited an instance where the Bank of Ghana has been leaning heavily on its bankers, that is Zenith Bank, persuading them not to conduct business with the company, which Zenith Bank has since served notice of its intention to stop doing business with Menzgold. The case, which was filed today, is seeking 14 release from the court. Amongst them is a declaration that Men's Gold business does not fall within the present legislated scope of the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act, as well as the Security Industry Act. Also, a declaration that the Bank of Ghana and the SEC's notices in August and November last year have hurt the business reputation of Men's Gold. In addition, Men's Gold is seeking that a court declares the statement issued by the Securities and Exchange Commission last week as an abuse of its discretionary powers contrary to Article 23 and 296 of the 1992 Constitution. Again, Men's Gold wants the court to direct the Bank of Ghana and the Securities and Exchange Commission to publish unqualified retraction and an apology with the same prominence with respect to the notices in August and September last year, respectively. Moreover, Men's Gold wants the court to specify a time limit within which the judgment of the court should be complied with. It is also seeking general damages as well as costs inclusive of its legal fees.
Meanwhile, management of Men's Gold has announced that customers can visit branches of the company to demand their matured investment from tomorrow. A representative of the management who addressed a press conference explained that the company will pay its customers whose investments matured before the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Bank of Ghana directed it to stop payment on September 12.
Speaking at a press conference, the corporate manager of Men's Gold, Nana Yao Ofei, stated that customers will receive their payments according to a payment schedule that will be circulated to customers tomorrow.
We are very much alive to the needs of our customers. It is, however, important to note that the recent circumstances has dislodged the shape and the projections of our business. To that end, we have set out a payment schedule starting tomorrow to be circulated to all our customers. Customers are encouraged to only visit their branches on the date for their collections, as the schedule will strictly be adhered to avoid overcrowding at the branches.
Meanwhile, the PR of the company, George Quay, informed customers that the schedule will be sent via text message.
If yours matured, say, on the 1st of August, you come on a particular day. So maybe from 1st to 5th, they have a particular day on which they would come. And that, when I say on which they would go, it means they go to their various branches. Then if yours matured on the 2nd, you have a particular day on which you attend. And this begins from tomorrow. So customers are encouraged to just stay calm and wait till they get their messages. It would be via SMS, and they would get it. And when they get it, they will know when to go. It begins tomorrow. It runs all the way through next week until everybody is sorted.
Mr. Ofei, however, clarified that customers whose investments matured after September 12 will not receive their funds due to the directive from the SEC.
It is pertinent to note, however, that the period starting Wednesday 12 forcefully shut by the Securities and Exchange Commission regrettably shall not attract any form of returns whatsoever, as the business of the gold trade has been and still is dormant. Finally, the dent of the shutdown of the gold trade, the firm cannot process any kind of termination on the gold vote until a healthy restoration is determined by the courts. It is important to note that but for these unwarranted obstructions, Men's Gold has had 100% unblemished record with regards to payment of extra values to traders. In our 5 years of operations, there isn't any single case on record suggesting default payment as a viable matter of fact.
Men's Gold Ghana Limited was earlier asked to suspend its gold trading operations with the public by the Securities and Exchange Commission. According to the regulator, Men's Gold has been dealing in the purchase and deposits of gold collectibles from the public and issuing contracts with guaranteed returns with clients without a valid license from the Commission. The company was, however, cleared to continue its other businesses of assaying, purchasing gold from small-scale miners and exports of gold. Although the company was adamant at first, it subsequently complied with the directive.
Men's Gold Ghana says it is ready to battle out its case in court with the Bank of Ghana and the SEC. It also says it will issue a payment schedule for all of its clients to receive their matured investments starting tomorrow. Reporting for City News, my name is Ni Ama.
Well, moving on, the Bank of Ghana has challenged the capacity of the General Jurisdiction Court hearing the case where shareholder of Unibank, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, is seeking to reclaim the bank. The central bank on August 1, 2018 collapsed Unibank along with 4 other banks on grounds of insolvency. In a letter to the Chief Justice, the lawyers of the Bank of Ghana, led by Frank Davis, challenged the capacity of the court and indicated that the case must be heard by a commercial court. The content of the letter was made known in the General Jurisdiction Court when the case was called. In response to it, lawyer for Dr. Duffuor, Chachu Chikata, objected to the request of the letter, arguing that any challenge of the jurisdiction of the court must be done through the legal process rather than the administrative one chosen by the BOG. Mr. Chikata also described the action of the BOG as forum shopping. The presiding judge, Justice Daniel Mensah, after hearing the arguments of the parties, adjourned the case to the 17th of October to allow the Chief Justice to take a decision on the request. Moving on, all occupants of the trade fair site are to vacate the premises by the end of the year. This management says is to allow for work to begin on the site. Now, Trade Fair has for some time now stated their intentions to revamp the compound to bring back the once vibrant environment. There is more in the following report.
Chief Executive Officer of the Trade Fair Centre, Dr. Agnes Edu, tells City Business News the evacuation of the tenants is necessary for the new development.
The tenants on the ground over the last few years have been sensitized to the fact that eventually the facility has to be broken down because the makeshift structures that are here does not work for an international trade fair site. So over the last few years, we have actually notified a lot of the tenants here. Tenancy here is only temporary. It's a year-to-year tenancy. So as of last year, we notified the tenants that at the end of their tenancy this year, they will have to make room so that we can actually rebuild the site.
Dr. Edu further hinted that both local and foreign investors have shown interest in partnering the entity to develop and revamp the facility. Although she did not give details as to who the investors are, she assured that the board will come out with those information soon.
The project for revamping Trade Fair is not new. It's been around for some time now. So there are investors, developers that have been around for quite some time, and new ones that we will attract into the project as well have come on board, are continuing to come on board.
The Trade Fair had also been battling with power supply issues and only managed to settle that this year. Dr. Agnes Edu spoke to City Business News during the press launch of the Trade Fair Grand Sales at the premises. The event, which began this morning, is expected to last for 12 days. Some lined-up activities include free health screening, grand sales, kids' playground, among others. Dr. Edu believes the needed support will rake in the necessary revenue for Trade Fair.
The grand sales will run for about 12 days. So today is opening day. Today is September 27th. It will run through October the 8th. It's a generalized fair, so everyone is invited. Small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses, everyone is invited. You can come on the grounds. Now that it's open, you can come on the grounds and actually register to be an exhibitor, bring your goods or your services, display here, and participate in the exhibition. It all depends on the support that we get from sponsors, from the exhibitors. We tend to, or we try to concentrate on really trying to promote and publicize this event, or all events that happens here. So the International Fair, through promotion and through publicity, we actually attracted over 600 exhibitors, where the previous years maybe 40 or 50 will come out. So it's really how you structure what you are doing, what activities you bring on board, what exhibitors you are able to attract, and also publicity around the whole entire project. So we will hope to continue in that direction.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. We're going for a quick break. When we do return, some spare parts dealers fear their businesses could collapse due to investments made at embattled First Ally Savings and Loans. Stay with us.
City TV is live. City TV is a free-to-air digital channel. On a digital TV, please press menu on your remote control and run a news search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV on your television. City TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like GoTV and StarTimes box. Tune into City TV and experience your world. City TV, it's your world.
Quero ver todo mundo balançando. Ninguém pode ficar parado. É só loucura. Mexe.
Witness the twisted and tangled story of betrayal, greed, vengeance, and love in the award-winning Brazil Avenue. Carminia, a woman led by greed, gets rid of her husband, who is Rita's father, and sends Rita away to a filthy landfill. Rita finds love in Batata, but they are soon separated by adoption into different families, far away from each other. Many years later, all paths cross again, as Rita, now a renowned chef, seeks to pay back her stepmother for taking away her happiness as a child. It's a story of twists, turns, suspense, and thrilling action in Brazil Avenue. Brazil Avenue, coming soon only on City TV. Brazil Avenue.
You're welcome back to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobia Osei. Let's bring you some more business stories. Spare parts dealers at Abose Okai have expressed fears of their businesses collapsing if government does not intervene to get their investment with First Allied Savings and Loans released. The dealers made the comments at a town hall meeting between spare parts dealers at Abose Okai and key government agencies. City Business News was there and reports.
According to the spare parts dealers, they have years of their investments locked up with First Allied Savings and Loans. However, all attempts to retrieve said investments in the past few months have proved futile. Speaking on behalf of the disgruntled spare parts dealers, the acting chairman of the Abose Okai Spare Parts Dealers Association, Clemens Boateng, called on government to come to their aid.
For some time now, there has been a problem with First Allied, savings and loans, and most of our members have their deposits over there. For almost about 3-4 months now, they've been complaining to the association that when they go there for withdrawals, they don't get their withdrawals. It is impacting negatively on our business because some of our members who have deposits over there are major importers, who bring spare parts into this country, and because of that, it's affecting their business, and they've been complaining. So it's high time, government addresses that situation. Otherwise, I don't know what will happen next.
The calls by the spare parts dealers comes on the heels of recent agitations by customers of Gold Coast Securities over non-payment of dividends on their investments. Speaking on the sidelines of the same town hall meeting at Abose Okai, the Deputy Minister for Information, Pius Enam Hajide, sounded a word of caution to financial institutions that deny Ghanaians access to their savings.
We have heard reports through the program about some challenges that are being faced by some of the micro and small microfinance organizations operating within the Abose Okai area. But we are very much on top of the issue, and we want to assure the people not to panic, and that government will ensure a protection of all depositors' interests. So once we are at it, we are also encouraging those financial institutions to regularize their activities and to conform to the Bank of Ghana regulations as so stipulated. Otherwise, government would have to be forced to take a move against them in the interest of the depositors.
One after the other, many spare parts dealers relay their problems to the dignitaries gathered at the event with hopes of getting them solved. The convener of the town hall meeting, an MP for Ablekuma Central, which covers Abossey, Ebenezer Nina Nate, highlighted the severity of the problem with First Allied Savings and Loans and spoke of what his office is doing to resolve it.
Yes, last week I had a meeting with the executives, and in the course of the meeting, the issue of First Allied came up. So right after our meeting, I had a meeting with the manager, and I asked them to book an appointment with all the heads of their department, which they did the next day on Thursday. That is last week Thursday. We had a lengthy meeting with them. I was given the number of the CEO himself, and I've had in touch with him, and we are booking an appointment to meet to see how best he will be able to get funds to give to the people. I mean, it's an eyesore. You know, it's a business community. These are when if you meet them and they are talking to you, these are huge amounts of money that they have invested.
The town hall meeting was used as a platform to announce the MP's plan to bring a general facelift to Abossey. Among the activities to be embarked upon are the reconstruction of the roads around Abossey, provision of lighting for their streets, provision of a parking space, and a general decongestion exercise.
Now, some bankers have lauded the central bank's decision to write off 1.2 billion cedis worth of non-performing loans on the books of banks. The bankers believe the move should strengthen the sector and restore confidence. The following report has more.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, at the Monetary Policy Committee's media briefing on Monday, said the central bank's decision is premised on the virtual loss of the amounts in question.
So over the years, the banks have fully provided for this loss component, right? They are fully provided for the loss component. And we are saying that if you are fully provided for these losses, maybe it's about time you roll them off so that our NPL numbers can come down.
The Bank of Ghana's latest report on the banking sector shows that total non-performing loans had reached 8.74 billion cedis as at June this year. The absorption of the 1.2 billion cedis means that the banking sector will be left with an estimated 7.54 billion cedis amount of NPLs, with an estimated NPL amount of 7.54 billion cedis. Commenting on this, Managing Director of Zenith Bank, Henry Oro, told City Business News the banks should be able to start afresh, which will restore confidence among customers.
So I see a reduced NPL position for the banking industry as we move forward. And I see the central bank itself, the Bank of Ghana, increasing its supervisory overview, which is very critical for NPL reduction and bank performance in any economy. So I think the outlook is positive, and for us at Zenith Bank, our NPLs have been quite low, and our target is to bring it as low as possible, 3%.
Again, a professor of finance at the University of Birmingham, Sajid Chaudhry, explains that the central bank's move is necessary to help some weaker banks to stand on their feet.
View of the bank, the government of the Bank of Ghana, because it makes the balance sheet clean. So it will look like the banks are making a new start, and is 1.2 billion for the whole industry. So when I talked about the underlying profit for only top 6 banks, that was already 4 billion cedis. It's almost like more than 3 times what we are talking about. So basically, it's fine. They should do it.
Moving on now, after a meeting between the government, represented by the Communications Minister, and executives of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, GIBA, which lasted over 5 hours, the parties have agreed to engage further to deliberate on the implementation of the DTT project. They have agreed to maintain Central Digital Transmission Company as the managers of infrastructure of the DTT project.
The parties have agreed to continue with engagements on the project as the project proceeds. The next meeting of these stakeholders is scheduled to take place within the next 4 weeks. Stakeholders at the meeting were the Ministry of Communication, the Ministry of Information, Ministry of Finance, the National Media Commission, the National Communication Authority, the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, Film Producers Association of Ghana, the Ghana Academy of Film and Television Arts, the Ghana Actors Guild, NAFTI, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Ghana Institute of Engineering, KNET Limited, and ILC Consultants. We're grateful to stakeholders and to yourselves for being around for today's meeting.
You're watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. We're going for a break, but when we do return, we'll move on to the international scene to bring you some business stories.
Bless you with body.
We brought you not one, not two, but three of the city's biggest lockdowns on a craft one and only funky and fresh jam. This time, may the fourth be with you as the Body Beach Hotel and 97.3 CTFM present the fourth edition of Funky and Fresh on Friday, 28 September 2018. Funky and Fresh, the fourth edition with DJ Gaddafi, will be another one to remember as the whole capital comes to a standstill as we boogie and have a blast till you crash. It's great cocktails, excellent music mix, and dancing feet to make your Friday night come alive. Book your place and make reservations now. Call 0544-431-213. Funky and Fresh is powered by Labadi Beach Hotel and 97.3 CTFM and sponsored by Big Ideas Consult, Bacardi, Voyage is a Freak, and Let's Be Seated.
Every Thursday night on City TV, you're welcome to join women from different backgrounds and opinions as they weigh in on your relationship issues. Watch Sister Sister as the ladies get real with issues about love, marriage, betrayal, sex, dating, trust, finances, and more.
And his goals and aims and ambitions, including like marital life or children. You should know that from the beginning. And when you have a deep conversation, you should be able to sense the vibe or the energy, but you should have that conversation so that you know what you're going in for. And then you advise yourself upon what you want and what the person wants.
Join Jessica and her sisters for City TV's all-women talk show, Sister Sister, every Thursday at 9 p.m.
Welcome back to the Business Dashboard. Let's head over to the international scene for some more stories. Now, agro-industry firms Cargill, Wilmar and Taunton have made offers for the liquidated assets of Ivory Coast's top cocoa exporter, SAF Cacao. Bankers and sources at the country's cocoa board, CCC, said today. Now, a court ordered the liquidation of SAF Cacao, which purchases between 150,000 and 200,000 tons of cocoa beans each season in July over debts it owed to the CCC. It owes about $143.5 million to the CCC and 160 billion CFA francs to Ivorian banks. The sources said that Wilmar, which is based in Singapore, and French-based Taunton are interested in SAF Cacao's Choco Ivoire grinding plant, which has a capacity of 32,000 tons, as well as its other cocoa and coffee factories. Cocoa exporters are among the major borrowers in Ivory Coast. A wave of defaults last growing season has raised concern that the crisis could destabilize the banking sector of French-speaking West Africa's largest economy. Well, that brings us to an end to today's edition of the Business Dashboard live here on City TV. For more news, do visit citybusinessnews.com. My name is Bubio. Say many thanks for your time. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. do join us for another edition of the Business Dashboard. Bye-bye.